Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday Mull for Saturday the 9th of January. Today, following Murray McShane's readings, we're reading Matthew chapter 9 and Genesis chapter 9. And in Matthew, we have the story of the calling of Matthew. We're told that he was a tax collector and Jesus comes up to him and says, "Follow me." And Matthew got up and followed him. And from the Jewish perspective, Matthew was the last person you'd want to call, this person that was compromised, that was seen as evil and particularly sinful, in a sense outcast from the people, and yet Jesus calls him. And that's an encouragement that Jesus calls unlikely people. There's some people that we think, oh, that'd be ideal. Jesus doesn't look for ideal people. He looks for real people, people like Matthew, people like me that are full of faults and problems and issues. And he doesn't wait and say, when you're perfect, come to me. He says, come to me and let me work to make you better than you are. And that's happened with Matthew. He becomes the follower of Jesus, and he becomes an apostle and gives us a gospel. And then in chapter 9 of Genesis, we have the story of Noah. Noah has been on the ark. The world has been flooded. Noah and the family come off, and God makes a covenant with Noah that he'll never flood the earth again. And this has all happened, this positive thing that humanity has been saved through Noah. And then we have this little bit from verse 20. Noah, a man of the soil, proceeded to plant a vineyard. When he drank some of its wine, he became drunk and lay naked inside his tent. And one stops and thinks, here you have this wonderful person who was picked because he was righteous as opposed to everyone else in the world. And he ends up getting drunk. So he clearly was not the perfect person. And the Bible's full of stories of imperfect people. People that are good in parts but have feet of clay, as the Bible says. And to me, that's a great encouragement. That Noah did this, that doesn't go on and say that is the end of Noah. No, God had used him, God continued to bless him, God continued to work with him, despite the fact that he fell. And we need to remember that God is gracious and compassionate and loving and forgiving, and calls us, despite our imperfections, and calls us back and gives us a second chance when our imperfections cause us to fall. So be encouraged that we have a God that is perfect himself, calls us to work towards perfection, but recognizes that we will not get there. And he constantly works with broken, frail, ordinary people like me and quite possibly like you. So let that be an encouragement and a blessing as you walk with God today.